Okay, yo, what's going on, guys? Episode number 2. I got a very special guest here. Got the very beautiful Jasmin Chan. Wow. Hi, Jasmin. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, Jasmin just got back from work. If for those of you who don't know, she actually works in a health clinic. Why don't you tell everyone how that's been?
So I do x-rays. So far so good. Our patient count is very, very low right now. I used to do on average 100 patients a day, and it's gone down to like 10. How's
the coronavirus situation for you? Are you enjoying it so far, or what's your take on everything right now?
I personally don't really mind quarantine. I kind of like it. I kind of like that it kind of slows life down and kind of takes all the fluff away, and you can kind of just focus on the simple things and the basic things.
Yeah, that's right. So for me, coronavirus has been pretty awesome, to be honest. I mean, what better way than to have all this time to work on my YouTube channel? And although it's a pretty bad situation, all the people that are sick right now, that's terrible, right? But in terms of like, if you have a passion or hobby, now's a great time to use that time. And that's what I said in my previous episode. But I'm enjoying this time. And I think a lot of people out there are also enjoying it too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone gets to spend a lot more time with their family and friends and just the people they love.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But in this episode, I wanted to talk a little bit more specifically about dating. Because that seems like the topic that everyone loves to talk about. So I was talking to my friend yesterday, and she's been doing online dating, and it's kind of interesting. She's been on Bumble a lot, and apparently now they have this new thing called social distance dating. Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
So
I don't know anyone on the apps right now.
No, you don't do online dating right now?
No, I don't.
Yeah, but basically she told me that online dating now, apparently when you match with someone, you do a Zoom call. So they have like Zoom online dates now too. So if you match with someone and you start talking to them and you like them and you want to like move to the next step,
you go on a Zoom date?
You do on a Zoom date. So what she told me was one date idea that she had for a Zoom date was she went on a call with actually one of the guys that she was talking to before, and she did a UFC Zoom date call.
Like they watched UFC together?
Yeah, so they watched
Cool.
UFC together, and they were watching it through Zoom.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
So we were talking about it yesterday, how like, what is dating going to be like after all this? And she particularly said she's terrified to like meet random people, random guys, because you never know, right? And
well, I think online dating now, because like doing the Zoom stuff, that probably streamlines everything, because now you don't have to go out of your way to meet someone, and you can just do it online to kind of like get to know them first, and then when you actually get to know them, then you can meet up in person.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But for me, dating for me it's all about like that sort of mystery at the beginning, right? When you're just talking online, that mystery kind of fizzles out, and
right.
You can't really build a good connection online, in my opinion.
Well, texting is different versus FaceTiming.
You think so?
I think so.
I don't think so, because for me personally, I think
because you can at least, like, you don't have to guess about text tones or like what they're saying, or like think something else rather than what.
I agree. But the thing with online dating and texting and all that kind of stuff is, in person you build a way stronger connection, and you can really pick up on body language. You can pick up on very subtle. You can pick up on subtle stuff more, right? And in my opinion, it's just more exciting in person. Like for me, back in my single days, being in person was like way better than anything because it's more intimate and you can really, like I said, build a better connection.
I guess so.
Like for me, like clubbing was the best way for me to meet people because it's like you skip that first step of, you know, that introduction, like having to talk online,
Right.
doing this Zoom call. You skip that entire step.
But a Zoom call is essentially meeting them in person. Because you get to see them, you get to...
But it's not, because like on a Zoom call, you can't do stuff together. Like for me, if you go on a date with me is like doing stuff together, not just like talking, you know what I mean?
It's a walk.
Well, walking is still something, you know?
Yeah, but you can walk and talk on Zoom together. It's the same thing. Or like you can do what UFC.
Yeah, so one of the ideas that she told me, like, so I asked her, like, what kind of date ideas would you have on Zoom? And what she told me was, she's like, you go to a place, to a restaurant, like if you want to go out for dinner or for lunch or whatever, right? You go to the restaurant, you order the food together, you pick up the food, you meet them at the restaurant, but then when you eat it, you eat it back at home on the Zoom call.
Oh, so you meet them?
So you meet them, pick up the food, and then you go back home, and then you jump on the Zoom call.
Oh, that's weird.
And I was just like, whoa, that's like so silly. That seems so silly to me.
That sounds silly to me too. You may as well just stay with each other when you pick up the food.
Yeah.
You can eat it at a park.
Just 6 feet apart from each other.
Just 6 feet apart, exactly.
See the whole thing now, like I tell Jasmin all the time, this whole situation basically is broken trust. And it's very hard to build trust with people, especially random people that are online that you have no idea, who probably want to sleep with you and like touch you and do stuff, right?
Right.
So because that whole trust is now broken, it's very hard to establish trust in person. But with dating, you need to trust that person in order to build any type of relationship with them. So for me, if I was still single at this time, like the whole social distancing thing, I probably wouldn't care. I would still like meet up with people, still talk to people in person. You know.
I would too. I wouldn't let this deter me.
You would still go on dates, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, why not?
And like the whole thing in person, you can do stuff. You can, you know, like touch someone or like, you know, make a move. Like the whole idea of going on a date is for the guy to make a move, right?
Well, not necessarily. Not all the time.
Well, most of the time you want to be making some kind of move, you know?
I guess so.
To like bring the relationship forward.
Right.
And it's kind of harder to do that when you're doing this social online distance dating stuff. So that's why I don't really believe in this whole Zoom stuff. But it's interesting.
Yeah. It's just online dating taken to the next step.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then so we're also talking about how like clubbing, like going to a nightclub is going to be totally different now. And because that's how I used to prefer to meet people, is to go to the club.
Bars and strip clubs.
Not that kind of club. Not that kind of club. A different kind of club. The nightclubs. There used to be a club here in Toronto called Easy, and it's on Friday nights. It's like full of Asian people. It's like China packed in one little club every Friday, and that used to be the place where everyone used to go to. That's how actually me and Jasmin met. But that's for a different episode. So yeah, I think nightclubs are going to be a lot different now. It's probably going to be a lot less busy. It's probably not going to be as many people. But it'll be interesting to see once things open up again, if they open up again, how nightclubs will be and how busy they'll be.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever be as packed as they used to be. And I personally, that's what I liked about clubs, how packed they were. Yeah. So I probably wouldn't be going to the clubs.
Yeah, but I think in the future, probably like 3 or 4 years from now, clubs will probably be the same as,
oh yeah, I'm
as
sure
they were.
everything will go back to normal.
They'll probably have
Eventually.
like ways to screen people to make sure you don't have the virus and stuff. But even still, like even if you went to a club, right? and you met some guy in this whole situation, would it make you think twice about, you know, perhaps maybe going home with him, maybe even kissing him, holding his hand, maybe even dancing with him? Would you think twice about it?
In the moment, no, but I think maybe after I would be like, oh, I maybe shouldn't have done that. Because then after, like when you're in the moment, you obviously just go for it.
Right.
But if I actually put some thought into it, no, I wouldn't, because it's not just me that it could potentially affect. It could affect everyone else around me,
Right.
and the people I interact with. So, no, probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, so I probably just wouldn't go to clubs as much.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? Like the whole idea of, it's not you that you're putting yourself at risk. It's like the people you live with, your parents, right?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest challenge. Like you don't want to infect your parents.
No.
Because you went home with some guy or something, right?
Yeah. Not worth it.
Yeah. But that point you said earlier about being in the moment, like that's, to me, that's the whole point of having a date.
I guess
right?
so. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And I was telling my friend last night, and I'm like, I'm so glad I'm not like dating in the dating scene anymore, because it would just be a nightmare. And I even mentioned this to you earlier about how the whole 80-20 rule, remember that?
Yeah.
How 80% of girls used to, so back in the day, the whole 80-20 rule was that 80% of girls were probably dating 20% of the guys. But now, I believe that like probably 90% of girls are going to date 10% of the guys, because their standards are going to go up, and it's going to be harder for guys to like find dates and stuff. What are your thoughts on that?
I guess, I don't know. I think, well, when it comes to dating, I think a lot of people put, like, they don't really err on the side of caution. So if I was dating, I don't think I would think as much into it. So I would still date. I don't think, like, my standard would change. Like, I don't think.
But you'd be more picky about who you're gonna meet up with, right? Of course, you're not.
Oh yeah, but like, what do you mean, like picky in what sense? Like
you might screen them harder. Like, do you have the virus, or like, what do you do? Stuff like that.
I guess.
Like even like right now, a lot of people have been laid off. A lot of people are unemployed.
I guess so.
You're probably not gonna pick a guy that has no future income potential, right? Like if he's like a kind of guy who's just at home, sitting at home, not doing very much with his time.
I guess so. Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, girls are probably going to be more picky because they don't want to waste their time going out meeting guys. That's like dating takes up a lot of time, right? A lot of effort, a lot of energy.
Yeah.
So why would you waste your time on guys that are not really up to par, right?
Right. But is there even a standard for what is up to par now?
Of course there is.
Well, like you said, they're not working. Like a guy that's not working doesn't have anything going for them. But what if they were successful before, but just the industry they work in was really hit hard by the virus, and the industry kind of just...
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying there.
Yeah, because like cashier versus...
Well, if a guy was like working like in some engineering job, and then he's now a cashier.
Yeah.
Like, would you still want to date him? You'd probably think twice now, right? Like.
Well, I wouldn't judge. I wouldn't judge.
But the point, my point more is like, you're not gonna waste your time.
I guess so. I guess you would.
It's more about the time factor.
I guess you would vet a bit more before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like my friend's having that kind of issue now. She's vetting more, and like she's being more selective about who she's talking to. She told me she messaged like 40 different guys
Really?
And she just couldn't keep up with talking with 40 guys, right?
It's hard.
It is. But she said she's talking to one guy now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let us know what you guys think about dating. We'd love to know from you guys what your guys' thoughts are. And hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Jasmin, do you have anything last words to say?
No, hopefully I'll see you guys again.
Yeah, so Jasmin will be in more episodes. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.